What's up, everybody? Welcome to EDM Chatters, the news show covering everything that's been happening in our industry this week. From brand new tracks to sensational stories and topics that matter, we are here to fill you in.
I, of course, am one of your hosts, Vincent Beck, producer here at EDM Matters, and with me, as always, is the LA Beard Guy and the host of EDM Matters, Matthew Meadow. And Matt,
Yeah,
look at you. You got your mic is like right there. We can finally hear you. And
I know. I got a mic arm because my team was like, "We need you to get a mic." So I was like, "I got a mic arm." So I got this little thing. It like just holds the mic. It's not very scientifically complex, but it works. It does the job.
It helps.
It does the
And
trick.
I'm so proud as one of the video people here. As one of the people who just make it my career to do video and audio, I'm just so proud of you, Matt.
Oh, thank you, man. I that's really touching. I really appreciate it.
But yeah, how have you been this week?
I've been good. As I mentioned on the last episode, our roommate JP Blank is leaving tomorrow actually to go back to Australia. So in honor of him, I'm wearing my Blank hoodie for today's episode. We went out to Din Tai Fung for dinner yesterday, socially distanced, of course, and I ate my weight in dumplings. It was fantastic.
Right on.
It was fantastic. Loved every second of it.
Super jealous.
Yeah. How you been? You been good?
Yeah, man. Just kind of like getting. I guess I say this at every episode, but I'm just getting through it, man.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but I'm ready. I'm here. I'm present for today's show.
And you mentioned like every week, and you just say getting through it. But I think it's important to note that like every week we do make it through this is still an accomplishment because this is a fucking shit show. So props to you, man, for making it another week.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of wanted to talk about that. Like,
yeah,
it's been a rough few weeks, but I just want to like just say it out or just put it out there. Like when we come here, this is like a place for the viewers to like come here and just kind of like forget about what's really like kind of going on like around the world right now and just kind of get into some EDM goodness.
Yeah,
we got some great stories here today, and
yeah, it's been a good.
It's just fun to talk about.
It's been a good week for stories. I want to start with this one. It might be the biggest story of the week, just by virtue of how. Let's just say I can't be surprised by anything anymore in 2020. Vin Diesel dropped a new EDM track on Kygo's label, Palm Tree Records. Just let that sink in for a second. If you haven't already heard it, which you probably have by the time this episode comes out, I mean, Vin Diesel made us. I don't know how to react.
What reality are we in, dude?
What timeline is this? I literally don't know how to react to this. Like I get dozens of promos a day for new tracks. Some of them are from artists I've listened to before. Some of them are from brand new artists. I give as many of them a look and listen as I can. But as soon as I saw Vin Diesel in my inbox subject line, I was just like, hold up, what? And I looked at the email. I was like, yeah, Vin Diesel has a new song coming out on Kygo's label. Is this something that you'd want to cover? And my first reaction is, I don't know what to think right now. And the second reaction was, of course we want to cover this. Like, are you kidding? Like, I don't even care if the song is the most trash thing I've ever heard or if it's the best. Like, it's going to get covered. And I think we were talking about this before. I think you agree with me. It's not a bad song.
It's good. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's the tropical house sort of sound that you would hear, that you would expect to hear on Kygo's label. It was actually written and produced by a guy named P.D. Martin, who has worked with Kygo and apparently Vin Diesel before. I almost said Vince Diesel, which sounds like Vince Steele. Either way. But Vin Diesel did sing and perform it. Like, so that voice you're hearing on the track is Vin Diesel's voice. And I think the gruffness of his voice works really well with the sort of poppier sound on the track.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's definitely an interesting juxtaposition of the two sounds is like Vin Diesel's super low and gruff, and then like the boop 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 kind of sound of the Tropical House. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna win any awards, but we put it in our playlist. Go take a listen. It's worth that much. Yeah.
Most definitely. And I can't wait to see this go further with more crossovers between the Fast and Furious and MCU universes. Will we see Groot come through on a collab with Vin Diesel? Will John Cena appear with a collab as well? Like, I'm just excited to see what happens. This just opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Can you imagine if you did a track with John Cena and the track art is just Vin Diesel, and then like John Cena, he's not there. There's like an empty space where he would be because you can't see him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then The Rock.
Okay, whatever.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay, but
in my head, it's just like a whole like WWE like situation. So The Rock comes out with like a diss track against John Cena, and then those collabs fight, and it's just like,
I wonder. I'm surprised like WWE hasn't done something like that before. Like some kind of, I don't know. Does WWE like have a soundtrack? Or I'm not really in that world. Like
I don't know. Actually, off the top of my head.
If they do, let us know in the comments. Like, I would really love to hear some WWE diss tracks. I think that would brighten up my day a lot.
What else will brighten up your day?
What?
A Fyre Festival story, Matt.
Oh my goodness.
What do we got up next on the docket?
I mean, first, let me say, this festival happened, April 2017, and we're still talking about it?
Oh my god. Has it been that long?
I'm like 90% sure. Let me just do a quick little Google. Fyre Festival. April 2017.
Oh.
It's been over 3 years. We're still talking about this damn festival. But that's because people are still... There are still lawsuits pending because of it. And actually... this is one that Fyre Festival actually won. I guess they settled it, to be more precise. They settled their lawsuit with Blink-182, Major Lazer, Pusha T, and their respective agencies for the sum of $460,000. And this was essentially because Fyre Festival was recouping the booking fees paid to artists who never ended up playing in the first place, even though it was Fyre Festival's fault for putting on such a shitty event. So, I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm not a lawyer. I can't speak to the legality and like the justification of the lawsuit. But this seems like obviously the artists didn't play. They shouldn't get to keep all the money. I mean, I don't know the contract. I don't know. There's just so much. I feel like there's behind closed doors on this. But the news is the news. So. I don't know. I'm trying to.
So, I read into it a little bit. So the artists were supposed to play, at this festival, but it didn't. It was a complete shit show.
Yeah.
So there was a lawsuit over that, I guess, for them not being able to play. I guess all that money was like all the money. I guess the artists were spending out of their own pockets was.
I don't know. It was really convoluted. Like, I don't think that they meant to make this like an easy to understand case because they just wanted to get it away from them. But I mean, Fyre Festival went into bankruptcy for $26 million. They paid. Let me see here. Creative Artist Agency received $585,000 for their artists. Paradigm received $1.5 million. $730,000 went to new agency, so they dropped money on these artists, and they never got to play. So, I mean, I guess it's fair that they get their money back. Mm-hmm. I mean, people are also suing what's it called? Some of the influencers. I was trying to think of the name. So, like, Blink-182 is named in another lawsuit. Kendall Jenner, Emily Ratajkowski, they're all being sued for their involvement in the thing. So
for all the marketing and stuff.
Yeah, was it? They're suing Kendall Jenner for $270,000, Emily Ratajkowski for $300,000. Those were for their paid Instagram posts, which I don't even know how that's valid because, like, obviously they made the posts. Like, it wasn't their fault. The festival went down in flames. Yeah. So I have no idea how that works. But I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know. I just want Fyre Festival to die, man. Just
go away, Fyre Festival.
Go away.
For 460 grand. That's just a drop in the bucket for for some of these artists and agencies
and influencers and people who bought tickets even, like, man, like the first like few months it was like great entertainment, like what are they going to do next? And then the 2 documentaries came out on competing streaming services, and that was like a year ago, and now we're still talking about it with lawsuits. Like, man, like, too much of a good thing, which Fyre Festival is not, is still bad. And this has been just like, I'm like, now that I'm even talking about it, I'm like, yeah, our viewers probably tired about hearing about it too. So let's stop there because this story is go eat the cheese sandwich. But moving on to more wholesome news, Afrojack just got married. The massive Dutch man just got married to Elettra Miura Lamborghini. And if that name rings a bell, it's because Elettra is the granddaughter of the founder of Lamborghini.
The great granddaughter.
No, I correct. It was the granddaughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she is the daughter of Tonino Lamborghini, son of Ferruccio Lamborghini. So it's just 2 generations. So, yeah, I mean, Afrojack has a huge love of cars, and apparently that love has extended to people involved in those cars. I'm like, I do not mean to imply that, like, he loves cars, so we found the granddaughter of the founder of Lamborghini and was like, I'm gonna wife you. No. I'm sure they met, however they met in 2018, started seeing each other then. But, I mean, like, end of the day, they're married, they're happy, I'm happy for them, and that has got to be some family money. Not that Afrojack is broke by any means, but, I mean, that Lamborghini money, though.
Do you think he DJ'd his own wedding?
I don't know, man. That's a really good question.
That's got to be a sick wedding if it's getting funded by Lamborghini.
I mean, I don't know if it was funded by Lamborghini, but I'm sure that her parents definitely put up some money for it. I mean, the wedding dress is absolutely beautiful. And he's a massive man. I really want to find out, how tall is Afrojack? Afrojack is 6'10".
Jesus.
He is a large man. He is like, his wife's head comes below his shoulders. And like in the wedding photo, she's just like staring up at him, and he's just like, hello, all the way down there.
Some people are just blessed with that height.
Yeah, I mean that's why we did fencing in college, because height didn't matter. Well, I mean that wasn't why we did it, but like,
exactly.
I'm gonna do fencing. Yeah. No, but I mean, I think it's nice that even during a pandemic and even during, these socially distancing times, people can still find a way to have a nice ceremony like this and still, show that love is alive. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Most definitely. And we're happy for them. Good for them.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy for you, Afrojack. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. But some other news from this weekend. Some big news in the dubstep world. Excision has finally announced. I don't know. Finally, it's not like we were waiting for this, but Excision has announced a new label called Subsidia. and it's going to start with 3 compilations that are out Monday. So they'll already be out by the time this episode is posted. So I'm going to be listening to it on Monday. But there are 100. Damn dog. It's Jolene. We love Jolene, but Jolene barks. She's a dog. Anyway, the label Subsidia is starting with 3 compilations, all releasing the same time on Monday. With stop it.
You're good.
I'm good. I know. I'm just doing this for the benefit of the viewers because we all love dogs. 117 tracks on these 3 compilations. That is insane, and it's getting split between 3 different compilations. As I said, Dusk, Dawn, and Night, and each of these represent a different side of bass music. Night is going to feature the heaviest of bangers. Dusk is going to be home to the wonkier, wobblier sounds of experimental bass, and Dawn is going to bring out the melodic, lyrical, and emotional side of bass. So he's covering all of his bases.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Good job. There you go.
Yeah. But apparently, I'm reading from the press release here. Visually, Subsidia is a futuristic city inhabited by those who have chosen to be free, while the rest of society is sheltered into a simulated world where all of their wants and needs are met. Subsidians create their own experiences here in the real world, and they all love bass. So they're going for a futuristic kind of steampunkish kind of thing, but without the steampunk aesthetic. But I think the most daunting thing about this, and I think you might agree, is 117 tracks all being dropped in one day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Let's say the average track is 3 minutes long. 3 times 117 is 350 minutes. Divided by 6, it's going to take 6 hours, approximately, just to listen through all these tracks. And I don't have time for that. So I think maybe people are going to look up their favorite artists, or they're going to look to these different compilations and find the vibe that they're more in tune with. Mm-hmm. But as someone who works in the field of reviewing music, I'm not looking forward to reviewing 117 different fucking tracks.
Yeah, it's that's a lot of music in one day.
It is a lot of music.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
I guess just to do that right off the bat, this reminds me of Monster Cat's
Oh yeah,
Instinct, and then
Uncaged.
Yeah. And there's
no, it's just those 2.
Amphibian or something. I don't remember. They just
is there a new one?
No. I'm just making shit up.
Okay,
no, yeah, but they segment their different genres off by that. I think Uncaged is aggressive EDM, and then
Instinct is more pop radio friendly.
It's future bass.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm interested because this is a lot of tracks at one time. So obviously, they're planning on doing more of this. They're not just doing this is a label, we're dropping 117 tracks piece. Mm-hmm. So if they have 117 tracks ready right now, and I don't know if all of them have I don't know if all of them are unreleased or some of them are just being repackaged. I don't know. But my timeline today on Facebook has just been filled with artists being I'm so happy I got on Subsidia. I'm so happy to be releasing with Excision. So there's a lot of tracks, and then they're going to have to keep it going. So already this is going to be one of the most prolific labels in dance music because just the sheer number of tracks they're dropping at once, and then they're going to keep going. So it's going to be interesting to see which artists are going to be signed to the label, if any, which artists are going to release with them consistently. There's a lot of questions, but I think a lot of them are going to be answered on Monday.
I'm interested to see how far they take this visual aspect, storytelling with the label.
Yeah.
I think you don't see it a lot, but you don't see it done well a lot, I guess.
Well, a whole conceptual world kind of thing?
Yeah, because I mean, obviously Porter and Maddie can do it, have done
Yeah.
it. Seven Lions is really into that kind of thing.
Ophelia is amazing, yeah.
Right. So I like this kind of thing. It's super creative. And yeah, I really want to see more of what
Yeah,
comes out of
absolutely.
Subsidia.
I'm excited to see more. I'm ready for it. I'm prepping my speakers for Monday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we've been listening to a lot of good music this week as well. Stuff that has already come out. Obviously, we already talked about Vin Diesel and Kygo. Well, Vin Diesel on Kygo's label. And, for a Vin Diesel debut dance track, it's not bad at all if you just go into it with an open mind. Obviously, oh, who dropped? Oh, Vince dropped. Now I know how you feel. Now I know how you
Yeah.
feel.
I'm hit with the curse.
Yes, I passed it on to you. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, we've already talked about Vin Diesel. It's a good track. Go into it with an open mind. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's pretty. It's decent. It's decent. But we've also been listening to the first solo original from Alice in Wonderland in a year called "Bad Things," and I was in the car listening to this with JP actually, and we were talking about how this sounds like a uniquely Australian track. Like if you rolled Flume,
Oh,
What So
yeah.
Not, and Hermitude together all in
Okay.
one, you kind of get this sound. And then with Allison's vocals, it's a really, really cool track, and it's an amazing return for her because she hasn't been releasing that much. And I was talking to JP, and neither has What So Not. So, I'm excited about this, to say the least. Like, Alice in Wonderland is an amazing performer. She has a very devoted group of fans who have already blown this track up. I don't know, have you listened to it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
took a listen to it the other day. And like you said, that's a good way to describe it. That
Yeah.
it has a lot of like that Australian like future bass
Yeah.
like sound to it. Definitely does kind of remind me of, or it does remind me of What's So Not
Yeah.
and Flume. And her vocals and that's her singing, right? So
Oh, yeah. That's her singing.
her vocals are so good.
Yep.
Like probably some of the best in the industry. And she does them herself, and she like does everything herself. Like that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is that like she hasn't tried to be like one of those vocalists who's like a belter. Like she definitely like found her wheelhouse, and she doesn't try to extend beyond that, and that's totally fine. Like she nails what she goes into the studio with a mission, and she nails it, and I think that is 100% worth admiring. Yeah. Next up, we have "Here With Me" by Peekaboo. You listen to this one?
I actually haven't.
Ooh. Okay. After this taping, you need to go listen to it because it is a cover of "Here With Me" by Marshmello and Churches. And it has one of the most unique chord progressions I've heard in bass music. It has like elements of trap and dubstep, and there's so much like atmosphere and space between all the synths. It is a marvelous production, and Peekaboo premiered this at Res Rocks last year, back in I want to say September. So it's been a year since he first teased it, and fans have been begging for this track, and he finally put it out, and the response so far has been overwhelmingly positive from everyone that I've shown it to, and from everyone else that I've seen has listened to it online. It is yeah.
What kind of track? What kind of genre? Is it like a mid-tempo? Like
it's pretty slow. It's almost it. I'd say the closest thing is actually trap. It's at about like 95 BPM. And if anyone wants to correct me on that, feel free. I do not pretend to know what BPM tracks are at, but it has a very trappy rhythm, but like some very like heavier dubstep elements, but also with a ton of atmospheric space like in between, and it's just you got to listen to it. Like it's so hard to describe, but it's really the sort of track that is like pushing bass music forward, which I absolutely adore and admire because let's face it, like dubstep bass music has gotten a little stale. And that's coming from, like, I love bass music, but there's only so many times I can listen to the same chord progression, the same synth. It just,
same serum
yeah,
preset
exactly.
that.
I'm not saying we need to reinvent the wheel here, but let's bring the creativity back to the studio.
Yeah, let's push it forward, and that's what I feel like Future Rhythm's doing too. Kind of
Also
what we
true.
reported an episode ago or whatever.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And now that you mention it, I wonder how like the Future Rhythm is going to interfere. Subsidia, Excision's label, might like kind of clash with Halcyon. I don't think they're going to be at each other's throats, but I'm sure they're both kind of vying for the same artists. But we're getting close to running out of time, so we got one last track here, Project X with Timmy Trumpet and Sub-Zero Project. And you were the one who put this track on the list. I put it on our playlist, but I can't say that I've listened to it.
I can't really put my finger on where the genre is. It's kind of like a hardstyle, like a hardstyle track. It's just like super fast and just like punchy. And I don't really listen to Timmy Trumpet, but man, that drop is just epic. Like it's just big. It's just wide, right? And yeah, I mean, I'm glad you put that in the playlist. I think everyone should take a listen to it. It's a solid track.
I've actually been listening to a lot of Timmy Trumpet lately. He's been putting out some really interesting music. He's been doing a lot of covers lately. He did what did he do? He did that song with Vitas. Give me 1 second. He did Up and Down with the frickin' Vanga Boys. He did was The King with Vitas. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's got another cover coming out with a really big artist really soon, and I can't talk about that yet. But that's also gonna be pretty big. But I think that about does it for us here. Note you can check out all of the tracks we talked about and more in our EDM Matters Spotify Weekly Picks playlist. That does it for us here at EDM Chatters. I hope you enjoyed our ramblings and maybe learned a thing or two. Please don't forget to like and comment on this video and subscribe to our channel if you want more exciting EDM content from us. We will see you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
See you guys.